Hey, is this thing on? Haha, it's working. Hey, you know what that means? It's Sunday and it's time for Vinyl Grooves. Stick around. Hey. Hey guys, it's Sunday and thanks for taking some time out and joining me. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I hope to provide you some great content. Today's show I'm going to send out to a good friend that lives in Washington State. His name's Mike. And Mike asked me a while back via Messenger, hey, maybe you can cover these cool bands that we've been following. And he's exactly right. There are some really cool bands, and he's the one that turned me on to some of them. I turned him on to another one. So we're going to talk about those bands today. I know Record Store Day happened this weekend, and you know, everybody's all excited about what did you get, what are your hauls, all this other thing. If you watch my Record Store Day video a while back, I think it was called Record Store Day 2020, I gave a list of things I was interested in for Record Store Day. And I'll probably post it up here so you can take a look at it. We're going to talk about Record Store Day in just a little bit. I'm going to put that on the back burner for now, because what I want to talk about is this first band comes from Red Lion, Pennsylvania. They started out in 1997. They were really young, like 10, 12, 13 years old. The first time I was introduced to them, an album showed up in the mail from my good friend Mike, who lives in Washington, and he said, hey, check this band out. Their first big break comes from this album he sent me, which I believe they did in 2009, and this band is Halestorm. If you've never heard of Halestorm, well, guess what? I'm about to introduce you to them. Lizzie Hale, RJ Hale, brother and sister team. He plays percussion, she does lead vocals. She does some good guitar work too. But let me just say, this is a ripping, rockin' album. I mean, my goodness. She has a phenomenal voice. There you go. Phenomenal voice. And I'm gonna tell you what, the song tracks on this album are fantastic. And look at this vinyl too. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. I mean, beautiful. This album really does it for me. I've listened to it many times. He was exactly right when he sent it to me and said that I think you're going to like this band. I certainly have, and I have enjoyed every second that I've listened to this album. Every song on this album, what they used to say when I was in high school, every song on this album goes hard. And it really does. They've done several albums since. And one of their other albums that I positively love is called Reanimate. I think it's Reanimate 3.0. And there's a lot of cover. It's an album of just cover songs. And I know in today's day and age, people are like, well, I like original music. I don't need. But look, when I say cover songs, you have Whitesnake, Still the Night. You have Metallica's Ride the Lightning. They do a 21 Pilots song. Joan Jett, I mean, it goes on and on. So that is a really great album. So if you ever get your hands on that one too, you really should. You can listen to these guys on Spotify, and I guarantee you, once you listen to them, you're really I think you'll fall in love with them like I have. But that's Halestorm. That's the first one. Let me just say, I went to a concert for Halestorm because they came real close to me. They do a lot of shows. At one point, they were doing like 225 shows a year, and I happened to catch them. And you want to talk about a great show? Wow! I caught them at the Hard Rock, and I saw Halestorm, Dorothy, and Lita Ford. Her name almost went out of my head. Lita Ford. What a show! I mean, what a show! But that's the next artist I want to talk about is, you can see it behind me too, Dorothy. This is not the album that everybody looks at as her initial debut album. This is a great album too. It's a little bit different than the initial debut album, but it is a good album nonetheless. Dorothy is a really fantastic artist, and there's my signed Dorothy picture behind me, if you can see the signature. I feel like a little schoolgirl. Ha! No, I do really like Dorothy, and I'm gonna tell you, there was a drummer when I saw him in concert, and his name was Zach Morris. You want to talk about a drummer who's insane. I mean, this guy played drums until his hands bled. He had blood everywhere, all over the drum head, all over the stage, all over his drumsticks, and he's throwing them out into the audience. Really, really cool. Let me just say, their first album, Rock is Dead, is a fantastic album. It is heavy. It has some blistering guitar licks. The percussion is just incredible. Every single track on that LP is just was fantastic. Actually, it's an EP, as I think is what they originally put it out as. But I was really impressed. The first time I heard of Dorothy was live, of course, so I wasn't prepared, or didn't expect to hear and see what I saw on stage. And the ability of her vocals, being able to just produce that melodic sound through that gruffness that she has, sold me on this band. Dorothy is a band that I will listen to for many, many years. So between Hailstorm and Dorothy, there's two artists right there that I think that if you were to pick up one of their albums or go listen to them on Spotify, I think you would agree with me that they're pretty impressive. Okay, the third band I'm going to talk about is a band called The Pretty Reckless. They're from New York City. And let me just say, they're pretty impressive as well. I mean, it's fielded by a female singer, just like the other two bands. The Pretty Reckless, like I said, I have listened to them on Spotify. Do I own a copy of them on vinyl? No, I don't. In fact, it's been pretty hard. I've been trying to find a copy on vinyl. And what I find are their earlier albums, and I think they've done 4 albums. I may be incorrect, but I think they've done 4 albums. Then the first 3 are really expensive. The fourth one's getting ready to come out in October, and I'm on the pre-sale list for that. So I will eventually have the Pretty Reckless album. But the first few albums are really expensive, and I was really shocked to see how much they were. But then again, I really wasn't, because you consider a lot of these new artists, they don't press that many copies because, record companies aren't really behind them 100%, I guess. So they're not going to be pressing albums, and it's probably more cost effective to put them on digital downloads or CDs, even though vinyl is outselling CDs these days. But I've noticed a lot of new artists that are out there don't start with vinyl. But I will say this, I will eventually get those vinyl albums. I might have to do some trading here or there, because I don't like to pay tons of money for vinyl. But when you find something you really like, you might have to spend a little bit sometimes to get what you want. But let me just say, the Pretty Reckless is a band like the other 3, hard rockers, heavy hitters, and if you go and listen to them, you're going to be really impressed with them. But those are 3 female-led bands that you can go out there and listen to today, and I guarantee you'll probably pick one of them up, or at least put it into your Spotify playlist, or start doing some digital downloading, because I think you'll be very impressed with them. If you liked Motley Crue, and you liked Metallica, and you liked bands that have that hard-hitting guitar and some pretty cool licks on guitar and some heavy percussion, you'll like these, I think. So give them a shot. I'm impressed with them, and I'm going to keep following them, and I'm going to keep buying what they put out, because what they've done so far is really quality work. So give them a shot, give them a chance. You know, I think you'll like it. All right, let me talk a little bit about Record Store Day, since that's what's on everybody's mind usually at this time. September 26th, we just had our second Record Store Day drop. If you go back and watch my Record Store Day 2020 video, which I'll put up here somewhere, right in this area, waka waka waka. If you go back and watch that video, you're going to see that I said there was only a couple of albums that I was really interested in in September. And that's exactly what happened. I only had a couple of albums I was interested in, so I didn't make the big trip like I normally do. A couple of hours east. A couple hours east of here. Usually I go to Florida, meet up with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and we all go to Record Store Day, and we make a big deal of it. We didn't do that this time because none of us had anything that was just pressing that we had to buy. I also was going to test something out that I've never done before. I usually support my local record store, brick and mortar stores. However, this time, since I was only looking for 2 albums and I wasn't making the big trip, I decided to try and buy them online as soon as that I could buy them online. And the earliest that I could purchase them, at least on my time, was about noon my time, since I'm in a central time zone. I was able to hit the East Coast and hit a couple of record stores on the East Coast. And let's see, I think it was Looney Tune Long Island record store, and I don't remember the other one, but in a future show I'll give them a shout out, because those were the 2 places that I was able to find the records I was looking for. Now granted, I paid a lot more than I probably would have had I gone to Florida, but see, I had the gas and all that, so in the end it probably came out to be roughly the same. I think they charged me more for shipping and handling than you would normally think that somebody would. But hey, I got what I was looking for. I knew what I was paying up front. It wasn't a big shocker. Okay, so I'm going to do a Record Store Day when those albums come in, so you'll be able to see what they are. It's not going to be your typical, look at what I just bought. I will show you what I was looking for, my 2 albums. And if you go back and watch that video that I posted prior, you're going to see which albums those are, because it's exactly what I went and got. But when they come in, we'll go through it. I should also have some other albums come in that I've purchased that aren't Record Store Day albums. And when those come in, I'll do like a little unboxing or something for one of the videos. But in the meantime, that's how this week has shaped up. So I've given you 3 great artists to listen to. I've talked about Record Store Day. I do want to say this too. If you are interested in Hailstorm, Chris Daughtry is going to be doing a live at-home concert. You have to go to Ticketmaster and buy tickets. But Hailstorm will be performing with Daughtry, and I believe it's October 9th. I'm pretty sure it's October 9th. But if you're interested in that, take a listen to it. It's Chris Daughtry at home. It's one of those rock at home series because of all this China virus stuff, or COVID, or whatever you want to call it. That's my mask that I'm putting on. I feel like Bane from Batman. It'd be really cool if we were all running around, Mr. Wayne. Yeah. But we're not. We're walking around with cloth masks. Okay, if it saves somebody, I'm willing to wear a cloth mask. But I just think it would be cooler to walk around like Bane. Just say it. So, either way. All right, I think I've talked long enough. I probably bored most of the people out there. I hope I don't lose any subscribers from this video. I've had fun doing this video. I've enjoyed it. What can you say? It's Sunday and I don't get to talk to y'all. Hi, y'all. No, seriously. I hope you have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making this video. I hope I don't lose any of my subscribers because, you know, I can always use more subscribers. I'm always very proud of looking and seeing that I have new subscribers. And I try and address everybody that makes a comment always. So if you have any suggestions that you want to put in, feel free to put them in the comments section down below. If you want me to cover a topic or a genre or a top 10, that seems to be the big thing online nowadays, is my top 10s. Just feel free to put it in the comments and I'll do what I can. But like I said, thank you for being a subscriber, and I hope to catch you listening to some great music. I'll see y'all next Sunday. Bye-bye.